Okay? So here you have a manufacturer of furniture deciding on what type of truck to purchase for their operations, no, to bring and deliver materials and finished products back and forth. Okay, so you will see here that three alternatives were identified by the firm. So the first component of a decision theory problem is now here. Okay, is now here. That's the first component of a decision theory problem. You have your alternatives. Okay, and the three alternatives are to buy either a small commercial truck or a regular size standard truck or a large flatbed truck. So to simplify, it's just small, standard, and large truck. Okay, now you will see in the next line that it is expected that sales, okay, sales in the first year will fall in one of four categories. Either sales will be low, moderately high, or high. Now, what does sales have to do with your decision problem? Unmute yourself and answer me. What is the connection of sales to your decision problem, to the selection of an alternative? May connection ba?
Sir,
Yes,
sir,
Anthony?
sir, we want to choose the alternative that leads to the highest sales.
We want to choose the alternative that leads to the highest sales. But you do not know what sales is. And isa pa, yung alternatives mo, a truck, the size of a truck, does not have an effect on your sales, tama? Wala namang impact yung truck, yung size doon sa magiging sales mo eh, di ba? So anong connection ng dalawa? Bakit binigay nitong problem na to yung sales for the first year?
Sir?
Jason, yes?
Sir, yung sales po, bale, yan po yung magiging expected na events. Which would parang affect kung paano pagde-decide ng firm yung kung anong alternative yung pipiliin nila.
Okay, pero okay, tama ka doon ano? Expected 'yan na mangyayari, 'di ba? Yan yung yung sales, yan yung expected na mangyayari after you make a decision. 'Di ba? Parang ganito, parang yung umbrella problem natin kanina. Kung alam natin sana na kung uulan, alam natin na uulan, mabilis yung decision natin. Bring an umbrella. Tama? In this particular example, binigay yung sales figures for the first year kasi yun yung ini-expect na mangyayari. Ito yung mga events, itong apat na to, no? Any one of these four can happen during the first year after you buy the truck. After you make a decision what truck to purchase. Di ba? And may connection yun. May connection yung dalawa. Kasi just think about this. If you knew na malakas ang benta, maraming exhibits. Okay? Tingnan nyo ha. Transporting product samples to commercial exhibits, di ba? Maraming exhibits na mangyayari. Kung alam mo na malakas, people really want to see your furniture, no? Malakas ang demand. Would it have helped you in making or choosing an alternative as to which truck?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it would have helped, di ba? Kasi kung alam mong malakas, and let's say you're certain, let's say the decision-making problem is one wherein you are certain that there would be a huge demand, then it's easy to make a decision. Let's buy a large truck na lang. Di ba? Let's buy a large truck. Kasi sa laki ng demand, we need a bigger space to transport many materials to many places. Diba? Decision would have been easy if everything were certain. But since this problem did not tell us which among these events is more likely to happen, ano ba ang mangyayari dyan? Hindi natin alam eh. Then we are now faced with a decision-making problem under the condition of uncertainty, wherein these four become your states of nature. Okay, again, definition of states of nature is these are events that are not within your control. Di ba? Pagka bumili ka na ng truck, wala ka namang control over whether people will like your product or will demand your product heavily or not. It will just happen, di ba? Na malaki yung demand, maliit yung demand, wala kang control diyan. So, bumili ka ng truck. Tapos ang forecast mo is that malakas yung demand. Tapos biglang nagka-pandemic. Wala ka namang control na magkakaroon ng pandemic, so humina yung demand. Okay, naging moderately low or low yung demand mo. So again, these are things that will happen that are not within your control. Okay? And maganda sana kung may information tayo on the likelihood or the chance that each of these events will happen, pero wala. Okay? So now, you have alternatives. You have states of nature. Okay? And the payoff table is also given. So these values here, ano pa sabi yun? Payoff table for the firm. So it is assumed that these values here are payoffs and they are expressed in terms of profit. So now you have the three elements or components of a decision theory problem: alternative, states of nature, and payoffs. So alam mo na that you have a DT problem, wala kang probability, so therefore this problem is classified as decision making under uncertainty. Okay? So do I have space here? Yes. Decision making under uncertainty. Okay? So that's the background. So now, we want to solve letter A, and for today, tatapusin lang natin itong numbers 1 to 5. So Laplace criterion, tinuro ko na sa inyo. Ito yon. Okay, yan yon. Okay, so all we have to do is extend. So I will erase. Okay, so I will erase this. I just erase everything. Okay. All right. So what I can do is I can just solve using this table. So what does Laplace criterion tell us to do? It tells us that for every alternative, let's focus on import. Okay. If you select import, any of these events can happen. Since you do not know, then you assume that these events will have equal probability. So what will be the probability, class?
1/4, sir.
1/4, equal probability. So all will have a 1/4 probability. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. Okay? And what happens if I multiply each value of profit to 1/4? What do I compute? What do I actually come up with?
Average of the payoff.
Average of the payoff if you selected the small truck as your decision. So average payoff, I can now put it here. Average payoff. Okay? So average payoff, if you look at it per row, can you compute? So actually the easiest is to add all of them. 30, 45, 70 divided by 4, that would give you 17.5. Okay? And then for every alternative, you compute your average payoff. Okay? So for alternative, if you choose standard truck, if you choose to buy standard truck, your average payoff will be 15 plus 25 plus 12 plus 20, okay, 32, 57, 72 divided by 4, that would give you an average payoff of 18. If you choose to select flatbed, okay, then the average payoff would be, this is negative, okay? So that's negative 20, negative 5, plus 30, positive 5, positive 45 divided by 4, that would be 11.25. Okay? So you now have 3 average profit values. What will you choose? Which alternative will you choose?
The standard.
The standard. Kasi sabi sa Laplace criterion, if we go back, it tells you to choose the alternative with the highest average profit, if it is profit. Okay? But if it is cost, you would have to choose the one with the lowest cost from the average cost values. Okay? Kayong mag-adjust ha. Pagka profit, ito yung formula. Pagka cost, okay, pagka cost, ang gagawin nyo is to minimize okay? Okay, so therefore, problem number 1 is solved. The decision is to choose standard A2 para mabilis. Let's label this as A1, A2, and then A3. Okay, so we choose A2. Clear? Clear ba, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, if we go here, pwede nyo ring isolve yung Laplace criterion na yon using base rule. Basta't pag base rule, kailangan nyo mag-draw ng decision tree. Okay? So, let's represent the decision tree using this one. Okay? So, let's label, you have 3 alternatives, A1, A2, and then A3. Okay, and then for each of the alternatives, sabi natin, you have how many states of nature? Pwedeng low, pwedeng moderately low, pwedeng moderately high, at high. Okay? So ganito itsura pagka base rule lang gagamitin nyo pag solve ng Laplace criterion, no? Okay, so I think you have lots of experience drawing decision trees already. Yan. And then, sa dulo, ilalagay ninyo yung table of consequences. So take note, this is alternative 1, import. Okay, import. So E1 to E4 ito, E1, E2, E3, E4. So I will just copy the consequences, 20, 10, 15, and 25. Tapos, dito, 15, second row naman, 15, 25, 12, and 20. So, nanggagaling yung mga values dyan sa dulo from this payoff table. And then third row, you have negative 20, negative 5, 30, and 40. Sa base rule kasi, okay, sa base rule, by the way, these are your payoffs. Payoff or profit. Okay, sa base rule kasi, kailangan merong probability yung mga events para magamit natin yung base rule. So, since meron namang probability ito, 1/4, 1/4, inassume natin na equal probabilities, pwede natin ilagay ngayon yung probabilities dito sa branches. Class, nakakasunod pa habang ginagawa ko to?
Yes po, sir.
Okay pa kayo ha? Okay. So, sa mga events, dapat may probability yung mga events para magamit natin yung decision tree sa base rule. So, ang gagawin lang natin is, kapag na-set up na natin itong decision tree, as you see on your the left side of your screen, all you have to do now is work backwards from the rightmost end to backwards, no, hanggang sa makagawa ka ng decision. So, as you move backwards and you encounter a circular node, a round node, dapat may expected profit ka na ilalagay. Okay? Dapat may expected profit ka na ilalagay. So, how do you compute the expected profit? Simply multiply the profit by the probability. Kaya, nakuha natin kanina, ilan ba ito? 30, 45, 70, 17.5. Ito yung profit, lalagay natin dito. Tapos yung profit nito, 18. Tapos ito, 11.25. So, pag meron ng profit or cost sa ibabaw ng round node, you move back and it tells you, if you encounter a square node, it tells you that you have to make a decision. So, ano yung decision na gagawin mo? You choose, the rule is now to choose the highest profit, which is this one. So, therefore, you choose A2. Yan ang pipiliin natin. And the profit will be 18. Okay? So, Laplace criterion ginamit natin para makapili tayo ng alternative. Are we good?
Sir, may question po ako.
Yes, go ahead.
So, sa pag-write down ng mga probability, in the case na sobrang laki na yung tree, is it possible na ilagay natin for all E sub I equals yung probability? Instead of having to write it down
for all J's. Yeah, for all J's, the probability is equal. It's okay. No problem. In fact, kapag ka Laplace criterion naman, pagka equal ang probability, you don't need to do this. You don't need to do this. All you have to do is what we did earlier. Look at the table, and then for each row, just add all the profits or costs and then divide by the total number of events. And then put it on the right side and then just choose the one with the highest profit or the one with the lowest cost. That's all you have to do.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So let's go to the next criterion, minimax. Okay, so minimax naman tayo. Now, yung second criterion kasi, tsaka yung third, minimax, maximin, these two go hand in hand. Okay, pareho lang to eh. Okay, nagkakaiba lang kung profit or cost yung consequence. In this example, the cost, the table consists of profit values. Okay, itong table na to, profit values yan. So pag profit value, ang applicable dyan would be maximin. Okay? So ano ba yung maximin? Ano ba yung minimax? So let me write here. Okay. Ang kailangan nyo maintindihan sa maximin for profit payoff, minimax for cost payoffs. Okay, so focus here. Ang principle ng maximin or minimax is for you to choose. This is the decision rule. choose the alternative that corresponds to the best among the worst payoffs. Okay? Focus here, best among the worst payoffs. Yan yung decision rule ng maximin or minimax. Okay. So ano ba ibig sabihin ng best among the worst? So ang ginagawa natin sa maximin or minimax is, kaya maximin yan, pag profit, okay, di ba ang worst, di ba pangit yung payoff pag profit kapag ka mababa? So, ibig sabihin ng min dito is piliin mo lahat ng minimum profit kasi yung minimum profit is the worst payoff. Okay? So tapos pag napili mo na lahat ng mga minimum na profit, then max naman. You choose the best among all those worst payoffs. Kaya maximin. Okay? So yan na rin yung clue ninyo para malaman ninyo kung ano yung method na gagamitin. Kapag profit, maximin siya kasi ang maximin yung best, okay? Best of the worst. Okay? Pagka cost yan, ang best of the worst would be, syempre, di ba, pag cost gusto natin minimum, di ba? The best would be the minimum cost. So best of the worst, yung worst cost would be the highest cost, which is the maximum cost. Okay? So basically, the name suggests the best among the worst. Okay? Kaya, best among the worst profit, best among the worst cost. Is that clear? So, what we will do is something like this. Okay? You will now, since you do not know which among the events will happen. Okay, profit ito this is profit. So assuming that this is profit, what decision rule will be follow? Maximin or minimax?
Maximin.
Maximin. Basta pag profit, maximin. So since I do not know which event is going to happen, I am uncertain. Therefore, what I will do is, if I choose alternative 1, which is import, okay, ano yung worst na pwede mangyari sa akin? Ano yung worst profit that I will be able to get? So, mamimili na kayo dito sa row na to. Okay? The worst profit would be
10 po.
as the worst
10
profit.
10,
10.
sir.
So, lahat ng worst. So, ano tayo Maxi min. Okay? Maximin. Lahat ng worst, piliin nyo. Pag alternative 2 yung pinili nyo, ang worst na pwedeng mangyari is 12. Meaning, pag moderate yung demand mo, yan yung worst scenario mo pagka alternative 2 pinili mo. Pag alternative 1 pinili mo, ang worst scenario mo would be moderately low yung sales mo. That's the worst scenario. Pag flatbed yung pinili mo, okay, pag flatbed, ang worst scenario would be pag low yung demand, which is 20. So I'll encircle, this is the worst, this is the worst, and this is the worst for every alternative that you can possibly choose. Okay? So now, since you have already selected all the worst events or scenarios that could happen, then your decision rule tells you to choose the best among, okay, ito, the best among the worst payoffs. So what is the best among the worst?
Well,
Alternative 1, 2, or 3?
2 po.
2, sir.
Yan yung best kasi yun yung highest profit A2. So therefore, using maximin approach, you now choose A2. Okay? So, balik ako dito sa taas. So, na-solve natin ngayon yung number 1, na-solve na natin. At yung number 3, kasi profit ito kaya maximin yung ginamit natin and the decision is to choose A2. Okay, class. Since these decision rules have different perspectives, no, or tolerance for risk, okay, then you do not expect all of them to give you the same choice or the same answer. Baka kasi isipin niyo, uy, sa Laplace A2, dapat A2 na lahat ang ipipiliin ko. Hindi. Okay, that's not the case. So let me just remind you that each of the decision rules have certain tolerances for risk. Okay? Ibig sabihin, merong optimistic decision rule, merong pessimistic decision rule. Okay? So umpisa natin sa Laplace. Yung Laplace criterion, ina-assume mo equal yung probability ng lahat ng events. So therefore, it is actually neither optimistic nor pessimistic. Parang nasa average ka lang, nasa gitna. So hindi ka optimistic, hindi ka rin conservative doon sa decision na gagawin mo. Okay? Again, it's neither optimistic, neither pessimistic. Pagdating sa maximin tsaka minimax, take note, on the right side of your screen, pinili natin lahat ng worst conditions bago tayo nag-decide. Okay? Meaning that maximin and minimax decision rule is a very conservative decision rule or a conservative approach to decision making. Pag sinabi natin conservative, more on the pessimistic side ka. Pessimistic side ka kaya nga lahat ng mga profit values mo pinakamababa yung pinili mo eh. Is that clear? Class? Klaro ba? So the Laplace criterion, neither pessimistic, neither optimistic. Ang maximin or minimax is a pessimistic or a conservative approach to decision making. Clear? Any questions? Any questions, class?
Clear naman po.
None, sir.
Okay, no questions? Okay, if you have questions, raise your questions. Okay, next. Since profit table ito, profit table yan, hindi natin magagawa yung minimax. So, in this problem, it is asking you sa number 2. Okay, itong number 2. It is asking you to assume that this profit table is a loss table. So, pupurahin ko to. Okay, I'll erase. I'll erase. So, if this is a loss table, okay, if this is a loss table, assume lang assuming itong mga values na to, cost. Okay? So, I will now apply, ano sabi ko sa inyo kanina? I will now apply maximin or minimax?
Minimax po.
Minimax kasi best of the worst eh. Okay, best of the worst. So, kunin muna natin yung worst condition sa bawat alternative. So, since this is cost, the worst cost possible is the highest cost. Yan yung worst. So, ano yung highest cost dyan sa first row? 20?
25.
55.
Di ba? Okay, so this is mini-max. Okay, mini-max. 25. Highest cost sa second row is again 25. Highest cost sa third row would be 40. So you have now selected all the worst possible events and costs that could happen given each of the selections, A1, A2, A3. So now, minimax tells you to get the best of all the worst. So the best cost from among all these worst values is the one with the lowest cost. Tama?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so dalawa 'yon kasi nag-tie yung 25 eh. So therefore, ang decision mo dito pagka cost itong table na to is to choose A1 or A2. Okay? Okay, choose A1 or A2. So, ngayon, ang tanong, syempre in real life, okay, isa lang ang pipiliin mo dyan. Okay? Either you buy a small truck or you buy a standard size truck. You won't buy two. Remember remember, itong mga decision rules na tinuturo ko sa inyo ngayon, these are just rules. Their purpose or their intention is to guide you in selecting. Para lang meron kang basis for making a decision, basis for selecting an alternative. So it's a guide. So it's not absolute. Okay? So if the decision rule tells you to choose A1 or A2, then you can actually choose an alternative. In fact, you can still choose A3 if you want. Okay? Guide lang naman kasi ito. Okay? So now, if you choose A1 or A2, ang tanong, alin dyan? So take note that there are other criteria in making this decision that is available to you. There are other factors that you need to consider in making a decision. So kung sinasabi ng decision rule sa'yo, based on the payoff table, sinasabi ng decision rule sa'yo na kahit alin dyan, A1 or A2, pareho lang yung average profit na makukuha mo, 25. Take note na meron kang ibang factors na pwedeng i-consider. Factors like the size of the truck, di ba? Siyempre, between the two, so kunyari, your purpose for making this decision is to pick up materials and to bring it to mga exhibits or to bring it to your customers, etc. But from your experience, for example, yung mga dadaanan mo papunta sa customer mo or yung warehouse mo itself, medyo makitid yung daan. Kasya naman yung big truck, pero mahirap mag-maneuver. Okay? So again, that is an environmental factor that is not indicated in this textbook problem. But in reality, as a decision maker, you would have to deal with these environmental factors before you actually make a final decision. Okay? So paano kapag talagang hindi kakasya yung flatbed? So kahit na sinabi ng decision rule sa'yo na flatbed ang piliin, hindi yan ang pipiliin mo. You'll go with the second best. Di ba? So now, if the decision rule tells you to choose A1 or A2 at alam mo na masikip yung daan papunta sa warehouse mo or sa gate mo, then you would tend to favor A1 or A2?
A1.
You'll tend to favor A1 given your environmental constraint, di ba? Pareho lang naman ang profit, doon na ako sa sure na hindi mahihirapan yung driver kapag ka magde-deliver siya. Pag maglo-load or mag-unload, hindi siya mahihirapan. Di ba? So these are practical constraints that you need to consider. So another thing is considering the fuel efficiency. Okay? We are looking at import A1, A2, import or standard. Mas maliit yung import kaysa doon sa standard na alternative. So, and we all know that the smaller and the lighter the vehicle, the more fuel efficient it is. Okay? Given that the parts of the body is the same, okay? Pag mas maliit yung car, mas magaan siya. And therefore, in the long run, pag naluluma na yung truck mo, mas magiging fuel efficient yung maliit kaysa doon sa malaki. So, given that consideration, again, choosing A1 or A2, you might want to choose A1 over A2 even if the decision rule tells you any of the two will do.